reading these manga will make you insane. Sometimes you read something that is so out of line that you ask yourself, man, what the hell was going on inside the mangaka's head? What happened in their life that they came up with this acid waste called manga? So I found 5 unique series that you probably haven't read. During the process of making this video, I have developed a severe mental illness due to the amount of content I have consumed. So what's left of me made this list, which is ranked based on how I like them. So it's going to be something like this. I like it to questioning my life decision. Trust me, you won't believe the last one. Set in a world divided by classes, on one side is the rich, pure and the innocent, and the other side is the filthy, poor peasant who live in the slums known as tribal. They are the descendants of ancient criminals. Australians, Rudu is a young orphan who is trying his hardest to live, and he has a passion to collect and steal garbage and make something new with them. Or in another world, he likes to recycle, but he constantly gets mocked and harassed because his father was a murderer and was thrown into the pit. And there is a saying among the tribal people that if the father is a murderer, the son will be one as well. So he ended up isolated all on his own. What is a pit? It's a giant hole. The pit is where everyone throws garbage in it. You can't see the bottom of it. It's not only for the garbage, it's for criminals as well. If any of the tribal commit a crime, they will be sent into the pit. Guess what? Somebody, and definitely not this sus looking guy, kills Rudu's foster father, and somehow the authorities decide to put the blame on him. And here we are at the edge of the world, no one to back him up. Everyone call him worthless, even the person he trusted the most. Feeling betrayed and frustrated, he calls out everyone who mistreated him and promised to come back and take his revenge on not only the people of the slums but on the entire city. But they won't let him finish his monologue and they yeet him off the city into the pit. Of course they live, it's a shonen, what did you expect? He wakes up and finds himself in a mass land of garbage and waste. There is garbage as long as the eyes can see. Even the air is polluted, and then it appears a huge monster completely made of garbage. Now he has to not only survive in this crazy trashy world, he has to find a way back up into heaven. For some of you that are a bit cultured, you might have noticed a similarity in art style between this manga and Fire Force. There's a reason for it. Kairona, the mangaka, was one of the assistants of Fire Force mangaka, and the art here is phenomenal. What I like the most here is the character design. They give me this punkish feeling, which is actually a genre itself called trash punk. I didn't make this up, it's real. Google it. Gachiakuta is a manga begging for an adaptation by a big studio. Definitely not MAPPA. They are a bit occupied. We gotta go back to the slums yet again. Rebuild world set in a post-apocalyptic world where the world as we know it is long gone. What's left are the cities controlled by big corporations surrounded by giant walls. Outside the walls are the slums where the unfortunate lives. And what's further beyond is the wasteland filled with monsters and rogue technologies left behind from lost civilization. Akira, not that one, a boy from slums who has one goal, claw his way up to the top. And if you're from slums, there's only one way to not be poor. It's to become a hunter. When one day monsters find their way into the slums, in the midst of chaos, he grabs a gun from a non-oxygen user. Now he has his starting weapon. He leaves the crime scene to start his quest, and that is to become a hunter. Hunters are individuals that go and explore the ancient ruins for relics, and then they sell those relics. They have more rights than your average peasant. The manga sets off a very damn, this art is very good. As I was saying, the first chapter sets a really good start and shows you pretty much what's going on in the world. The thing that stands out for me is the main character. Akira is not your shonen protagonist because first, this is seen in manga, and second, if he has no friends, there is no need to worry about the power of friendship. During his first quest to get some ruins, he meets a bunch of kind muggers who ask for some donation for his blood and whatever he has on him. But the donation session ends when a naked woman appears, but it seems that Akira needs his pills because only he can see the woman. To cut to the chase, she is an augmented reality or an AI VTuber.
Am I a homophobe?
and her goal is to groom kids, manipulate Akira to go to an extremely dangerous ancient ruins, which Akira refused. Once again, I'm going to say this, the art is crazy good. At the time I'm writing this, they announced an anime adaptation. Let's just hope they at least try to maintain the same art style. I have a special talent to find the weird and the coolest magical girl manga. Last time I found Magical Girl Doom Eternal, and this time is Magical Girl Call of Duty. The story sets 3 years after the alien invasion. Humanity managed to defend itself with the help of magical girls. Now all those girls are back to their normal life until new threat appears. This time is not an alien invasion but humans themselves. Magical Girls Spec Ops basically is high school girls slicing and murdering grown-ass men. The story is weird as all the magical girls stories, but this one is pretty wild. Like adding war PTSD element to the main character, or how a group of quote-unquote freedom fighters started creating illegal magic weapon. The art style is hit or miss. In some panels the art is pretty good and in some others it's meh. If you don't like still images, this manga received an adaptation back in 2019. It's alright. Remember Prison School? Well, the mangaka is back, stronger and hornier than ever. Futari Switch is basically your name, but we should call it your cucumber. What happens when two childhood friends switch bodies all because of a cucumber and they are both thirsting for each other's friend? The story is nothing impressive as these sort of manga tend to have. Basic story. One of the things that grabs your attention immediately is the art. Those of you who are familiar with Prison School manga, you know the art is insanely good on that manga. This manga just started a few months back, so it doesn't have many chapters, but it's still a funny and horny manga. Trust me, there are some crazy angles here. Speaking of crazy, when I started to read I Want to See You Embarrassed, I did not expect it to be this out of line. So let me give you a rundown of the plot. One day, our main character caught two of his teacher in 4K, and when I say 4K, I mean he filmed them and decided, you know what, let me just make this video public during this school festival. Yeah, the school didn't like that. They didn't expel him, they just gave him 3 months suspension. Now 3 months later, he's trying to avoid trouble, or is he? One day he hears voices from one of the back room. He opens the door and he sees a woman. Now tell me something, what would you do if you caught someone 4K? Shame them? I hope none of you thinking of filming then running away, because she wouldn't like that, would she? Every weird fetish there is, adds it to the story and you will get a clusterfuck in form of this manga. I promise you, by the end of the second chapter, you will ask yourself, what the fuck am I doing? Anyway, so don't read this manga, except the first two. And if you like the video, like it. And if not, subscribe. And thanks for 470 subscribers.